There's something he feels that he doesn't talk about. Not to his friends. Not even to himself. But the angels, they see it. They whisper to me now, he hides you in a place so deep, not even he dares to go there. Because what he feels isn't casual. It's not fleeting. It is soul deep. And that kind of truth terrifies him. From the moment your eyes met, something ancient stirred. A knowing, a remembering, not of names or dates, but of energy, of frequency, of souls that had once walked side by side. In lifetimes no one remembers, but the spirit never forgets. You see, dear soul, the connection between you two wasn't built in this world. It was brought into it. He was not looking for this. He did not plan for you. But heaven had. And that's why everything changed. The angels say, you were placed in his life to be a mirror of truth. And now, the reflection both heals and haunts him. There are moments, still and silent, when your face flickers in his memory like light through stained glass. Moments when he almost speaks your name aloud, but swallows it instead. Buried again beneath duty, fear, and the weight of a life lived on autopilot. But just because he hides it, doesn't mean it's gone. Just because he acts unaffected, doesn't mean he is. He's overwhelmed. Not because you did too much, but because in your calmness, in your truth, in your being, you awakened a storm within him. A storm of memory. A storm of longing. A storm of recognition. His soul knows yours. And now, he wrestles with what that means. Why now? Why you? Why does someone who makes him feel so alive also make him question the life he's built? The angels remind you gently. You were not sent to change him. You were sent to awaken him. Let that truth settle in your heart like light at dawn. This is not about chasing or convincing. This is about being. Remaining. Letting your light speak louder than your words. Letting your energy linger where your presence cannot. Letting the divine do what only heaven can orchestrate. He will return to this feeling. Because it is not a fantasy. It is his truth. And truth never stays buried for long. For there is nothing hidden that will not be disclosed. And nothing concealed that will not be known or brought out into the open. Luke 8 verse 17. He's not cold. He's not cruel. He's not trying to hurt you. He's afraid. The angels say, he built walls before he ever met you. You just happened to arrive when they were at their highest. And you, with your warmth, your patience, your gaze that sees too much, you threatened the silence he made his home. He carries wounds no one asked about, stories he never told. And because of that, love to him always came with a price. He learned early on that to open up is to risk. To feel is to bleed. To let someone in is to give them power. And power has never felt safe in his hands or anyone else's. So when you came along, soft and real, undemanding yet unforgettable, he didn't know what to do. How do you explain to someone like you that your light hurts his eyes because he's been in the dark for too long? How do you confess that he pulls away not because he feels nothing, but because he feels too much? You see, he's not indifferent. He's drowning in a sea of what-ifs. What if he lets you in and loses you? What if he says too much and scares you off? What if he's not enough? The angels whisper, he rehearses conversations with you in his mind. But when the moment comes, fear takes the words away. He sabotages not because he wants to, but because pain taught him that happiness is temporary. And part of him believes you'll leave, that it's only a matter of time. So he pushes first, disappears, changes the subject, acts like he doesn't care. But every time he walks away from you, he carries the ache of absence in his chest. You became a space he can't fill with anything else. He is learning, slowly, that not everyone is here to break him. That some souls, like yours, come to heal. And even if he can't say it yet, even if he's not ready to surrender to this love fully, he feels your energy like a lighthouse in the distance. You, dear soul, are his safe place, and also the scariest thing he's ever known. Let the angels hold your heart while he still learns how to trust. You've given, and waited, and hoped in silence. You've stayed kind, even when confusion whispered in your ear. Maybe he doesn't feel the same. But the angels want you to remember something sacred. You were never meant to disappear inside someone else's process. Your love is not a service. Your worth is not a waiting room. You are not here to be chosen. You are here to choose yourself. The angels say, she shines brightest when she remembers she is already whole. He is on a path, and it is his. But so are you, and your light needs tending too. You are not just someone who loves. You are someone who deserves to be loved back, fully, presently, freely. Not in secret, not in delay, not when it's convenient for him. You may think holding space for him means dimming your own flame, but the divine sees you differently. You are not a background. You are the lighthouse. And even when he drifts far, the glow you carry reminds him of what's real. Still, this light? It needs fuel. It needs peace, joy, rest, boundaries, and above all, truth. The angels whisper, let your heart be generous, but never starving. You don't need to chase. You don't need to shrink. You don't need to become smaller just to be held. Your softness is your strength. Your presence is your power. Your love is sacred. But your well-being is holy. So take the walk. Run the bath. Close the screen. Say the prayer. Sleep the full night. Let yourself be the one you nurture first. Because when he returns, and he will, it's not the woman who waited that will move him. It's the woman who remained radiant while waiting. It's the woman who understood that loving him didn't mean losing herself. There's something in you he can't ignore. Not because you demand his attention, but because your presence reflects back to him everything he's avoided. You are the mirror. And when he looks at you, he sees what he's become, and what he's still afraid to be. The angels say, she doesn't just light up the room. She exposes the dust. Your laughter unsettles him, not because it's loud, but because it's free. And freedom, to someone who's always maintained tight control, feels dangerous. Your love isn't chaotic. It's clarifying. And clarity can feel like judgment to a heart still hiding. So he resists. Tells himself you're too much, too intense, too emotional. But the truth is, you're just real. And realness pulls him into territory his soul remembers, but his ego fears. When you look into his eyes and don't flinch, when you hold space for his silence instead of filling it, when you speak from your heart without apologizing, you're inviting him into a version of himself he hasn't met yet. He doesn't know how to meet you there. Not yet. Because to stand in front of a mirror, is to confront what's behind the mask. The pain, the shame, the longing. But the angels want you to know, it is not your job to fix what he sees. It is enough that you reflect truth. You don't have to dim. You don't have to soften the edges of your spirit to make him more comfortable. Your authenticity is his activation. Even if it makes him retreat. Even if it makes him lash out. Even if he walks away to pretend he doesn't feel it. The transformation has already begun. Because no one forgets the mirror that showed them their soul. And no one can unsee the love that asked nothing but for them to come home to themselves. It's subtle, almost hidden. But it's happening. He is waking up. Not with grand gestures or confessions. But in quiet ways the world might never notice. And yet the angels see it all. They say, his soul stirs in the night. He dreams of her light even when his eyes are closed. He thinks of you in the pauses between distractions, in the stillness before sleep, in the moments when no one is watching. He's starting to ask himself questions he never dared to face. Why does her memory feel like home? Why do I feel safer in her silence than in the noise of everyone else? Why does the thought of her bring both peace and ache? These are not surface questions. They come from the deep, from the soul space where truth is harder to avoid. You've shaken something loose in him, and now he can't go back to numbness. He can't unfeel the way your love moved through his guarded places, even if he's quiet, even if he's distant. Inside, a sacred unraveling has begun. He's catching himself smiling at nothing. Wondering if you'd like a song he heard. Missing the sound of your laugh without understanding why. The angels whisper. He doesn't understand it yet, but he's beginning to feel it as love. This awakening is messy. There's doubt, resistance, fear. But it's also holy. Because for a man who spent years inside his mind, any pull toward the heart is nothing short of a miracle. You are that pull. You are the echo he follows when the noise dies down. The calm he reaches for when everything else feels heavy. And even if he hasn't reached out yet, even if his fingers haven't typed the message he rewrites and deletes, know this. His soul is calling yours. In whispers, in silence, in the invisible ways only the divine can translate. And soon, his heart will follow. He leaves. He returns. He smiles. He withdraws. And you're left wondering, is this love? Or just confusion dressed in affection? The angels sigh gently beside you and whisper what you already sense. He is not playing games. He is caught in one. A game between heart and habit, between longing and fear. To love you means stepping out of everything he's used to, out of hiding, out of numbness, out of the illusion of safety. That's why he keeps circling, because your presence dismantles the old patterns. But the old patterns are where he learned how to survive. This isn't about you not being enough. It's about you being too much of what he's never had. Truth, tenderness, home. Each time he pulls away, it isn't because the feeling fades. It's because the feeling grows. And the more it grows, the more it threatens the fragile balance he's maintained with the world. The angels say, he comes back because your light restores him. He pulls away because he fears being consumed by it. He's still trying to love you with broken tools. Still trying to protect a heart that already chose you, but hasn't learned how to stay. So he builds space. Thinks distance will dilute desire. but it doesn't. Instead, he misses you in ways he can't admit. Feels your absence in the spaces where peace used to live. He's learning, through this cycle, that avoiding pain also avoids healing. That running from the ache never dissolves it, only delays what must eventually rise. And in every return, there's a piece of him that stays longer. A moment where the mask slips. A second of stillness where you glimpse who he is beneath it all. The angels want you to know. This isn't rejection. This is resistance. And resistance is part of awakening. Let his back and forth teach you your own rhythm. Let it remind you that the only love worth holding is the one that learns to stand, not just feel. And when he's ready, not perfect, not healed, but ready, he will choose to stay. He doesn't know how to name it, but he feels better after thinking of you. Calmer, clearer, less afraid of his own thoughts. The angels say, she is not his escape. She is his healing. Without control, without urgency, without conditions. And in a world that has taught him that love must be earned, chased, or paid for in wounds. Your stillness is disarming. Your kindness, confronting. He doesn't understand how someone can love so deeply, without asking for something in return. But slowly, your silence teaches him. Your presence teaches him. Your consistency teaches him. Because your love doesn't beg to be seen. It simply is. And it radiates into the parts of him that he thought were unreachable. There are days he wakes up lighter and doesn't know why. Moments when he stops mid-thought, heart softened. Because your energy passed through him like a prayer. He may not call. He may not show up in the way your heart longs for. But still, he is being healed by you. In the sacred space between words. In the echo of the way you looked at him that night. In the memory of your voice when you said nothing, but held everything. The angels say, you are the medicine for wounds he never admitted having. And love like that doesn't need a label. It doesn't wait for a promise. It just is. Whole. True. Transforming everything it touches. You didn't fix him. That was never your role. You simply loved. And that love is working its way through him. Like light through cracks in a wall. One day he will look back and realize that the healing started the first time he saw you and felt safe. Even if he never said it. Especially then. You're tired of the waiting. The signs. The silences. The soft maybes and never enoughs. And still, something in you won't let go. The angels lean in now, closer than breath, and say, this isn't confusion. It's alignment. There is a timing to sacred love. That has nothing to do with clocks or calendars. There is a slowness in divine union. Because eternity doesn't rush. You were not brought into his life to prove your worth. You were brought to remind him of his own. And that takes time. He is being stripped, undone, prepared. His soul is wandering through deserts, while yours rests by rivers. But the angels promise, the paths will meet again. Because love that is meant doesn't vanish. It orbits. It returns. It circles the heart until the heart is finally ready. You may not see the movement. But heaven is not idle. Doors are opening. Walls are softening. Timelines are shifting. And the ache in your chest? That's not emptiness. That's expansion. The angels say, you are not waiting. You are becoming the version of you that no longer needs to be chosen to feel worthy. Becoming the love you were always seeking. Becoming the sanctuary your own soul has longed to enter. And as you do, as you grow more into your light, you magnetize what is yours with grace, not grasping. He will feel it. He already does. Because nothing in the divine plan goes unnoticed. No prayer unheard. No tear wasted. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will make your path straight. Proverbs 3 verses 5 to 6. He doesn't cry, not where anyone can see, but the angels see, and they show me now, tears that never fell, words that choked before reaching air, moments he wanted to call, and didn't, because love to him is risk. And risk feels like exposure. And exposure feels like being broken all over again. He's not avoiding you. He's avoiding himself. The parts that soften near you. The parts that ache for closeness, but still flinch when it arrives. The angels say, He does not fear you. He fears being seen. You with your eyes that ask nothing but receive everything. You with your voice that doesn't push but penetrates. You with your quiet strength. Make it harder for him to stay behind the mask. And yet, he's trying to meet you there, to risk being known. Because for the first time in a long time, the possibility of love feels more sacred than dangerous. But still, he wavers. He remembers all the ways love once fractured him. The betrayals, the goodbyes, the feeling of being almost enough. And now, in your presence, those memories resurface like ghosts, begging to be acknowledged before they can be set free. He wants to trust. He wants to lean in. He wants to give you the key to the place no one else has entered. But his hands tremble. The angels assure you, this trembling is sacred. It means the heart is awakening. You may never see the storm he hides, but he is walking through it. With every breath, he's taking a step closer to the edge of surrender. Let your love remain gentle, not as an offering to fix him, but as a sanctuary where his fears no longer need to lead. Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Matthew 11 verse 28. It's not going to unfold as you imagined. It's going to be better, because it will be real. Not polished, not perfect, but deeply, fiercely divine. The angels come closer now and whisper, let go of the story you wrote. Let us write the ending. You were never meant to contort yourself into a version of love that made you feel smaller. You were never meant to chase, to wait in the cold, to beg for the door to open. You were meant to love, and let that love breathe. Because the truth, what is meant for you does not require force. It rises, it aligns, it comes, and it's coming in ways you can't predict, through timelines you can't control. He may not return with flowers, but he will return with truth. And that will be the real beginning. Because this kind of love doesn't dwell in fantasy. It resides in choice. In showing up, time and again. Not because it's easy, but because it's real. The angels say, release the need to be understood. You were never meant to be explained. You were here to be felt. So breathe, dear soul. Loosen your grip. Let the ache soften into trust. What's yours is not running away. It's learning how to walk toward you in a straight line. The lesson was never about how to hold on to love. It was about how to hold yourself until love could rise to meet you. You were never the chaser. You were the arrival. Now step back. Let him find the way home. And let grace be the only door you leave open. Because when he reaches it, and he will, you won't need to ask anything. He'll already know. And love will speak where words once failed.